All right, now we're going to talk about solving equations with variables on both sides. We are on page 5 of our notes. So in order to be able to do this, you guys need to make sure that you guys are paying attention specifically to the examples that I'm going to go over with you guys right now. So let's take a look at question number 1. Number 1 looks different than any of the equations we've done so far because, again, there's variables on both sides. So if you look at your equation, you have 2m minus 2 on one side, where 2m is your variable, and then the negative 2 is your constant, and over here you've got 6m, which is your variable, and negative 4, which is your constant, okay? So what we're going to do is we need to make sure that we split up the variables and constants. It's almost like they're in a fight and you have to separate them. They're not allowed to be in the same room, and each side of the equation is like a room. So what you're going to do is you're going to get all your variables together on one side. It's totally up to you. You can either put them all on the left side or you can put them all on the right side. Looking at this specific equation, there's more on the right side, so it's easier for me to get rid of what's on the left side and put it on the right side. So I want to get rid of this positive 2m. Well, the opposite of addition is subtraction. This minus sign is for the 2, remember, okay? So how do I get rid of a positive 2m? I want to get rid of it all, not just the 2, all of the 2m. So I'm going to subtract 2m from this side. But whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other side. I'm going to write it down underneath the 6m because that's what it's like. So the 2m and the negative 2m cancel each other out, and you end up getting negative 2 left over on the left side. This is what's left over here, okay? And then 6m minus 2m is 4m. And then I copy down the minus 4. Now this turns into a regular two-step equation that you're completely used to doing, okay? So I'm going to get rid of this negative 4 right here by adding 4 to both sides. Remember, the variables and the constants cannot be together on the same side. So I got rid of the variables on the left side. Now I'm going to get rid of the constants on the right side. So I end up getting 2 equals 4m because negative 2 plus 4 is 2, and negative 4 plus 4 cancels out. Divide both sides by the 4 so I can get the m together. That means that 2/4 is equal to m, and then when I simplify my answer, I know that 2/4 really turns into 1/2. All right? Let's take a look at question number 3. We're going to skip number 2 because number 2 is exactly like number 1. Now, in number 3, you have some fractions, right? Don't let the fractions confuse you. So same thing, I'm going to get all my variables together on one side, all my constants together on the opposite side. So looking at this right here, I have more variables on the right side because 1/6 is bigger than negative 1/6. So I'm going to get rid of this negative 1/6 n by adding 1/6 n to both sides. All right? The 1/6 n's both cancel each other out, so this becomes just 15 because that's what's left over on the left side, equals 1/6 plus 1/6 is 2/6. So I get 2/6 n minus 1, okay? Now that means that the variables have claimed the right side. So the constants are not allowed to be on this side anymore. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides, all right? So I end up getting 16 equals 2/6n, okay? Now I have to get this n by itself. I want to get rid of this division by 6. So in order to get rid of divided by 6, I'm just going to multiply both sides by 6, all right? Well, this 6 and this 6 cancel each other out, and so I end up getting 2n left over on the right side. And then 6 times 16 right here will end up giving you 96. Now I'm allowed to divide both sides by 2. This 2 and that 2 will cancel each other out, and I end up getting 48 equals n. In the next video, I'm going to show you a way to get rid of your fractions immediately so you don't have to deal with fractions at all when you're solving your equations, okay? All right, if that one didn't make sense to you, please go back and rewind it and rewatch that part of the video so you can make sure you're completely okay with it. All right, let's look at number 4 together. 9w plus 3 equals 4w minus 9. Well, I want to get all my variables together on one side and my constants together on the other side. Well, there's more variables on the left side, so I'm going to get rid of the variables on the right side. This positive 4w needs to be gotten rid of, so I'm going to subtract 4w from this side, but whatever I do on this side, I'm going to write on the other side underneath what's like it. So I end up getting 5w plus 3 equals negative 9. Now this is a very common mistake. A lot of people will think it's just regular 9. Do not forget that this 9 is negative, okay? All right, so now I'm going to subtract the 3 from both sides because the constants are no longer allowed to be on the left side anymore. So I end up getting 5w equals negative 12. Well, my last step is just to get rid of the 5, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and I end up getting w equals negative 12 fifths. All right, and then there's no more simplifying I can do with this fraction, so that's my final answer. Again, if you have any questions, please mark them down and let me know when I see you next time in class.